Are you stuck? How about unhappy? Join Alena Chapman, author, mentor, and life coach for Magical Moments with Alena, as she challenges you to get out of the doldrum and start living your life to the fullest. Alena will help you take control of your life and push you to do the things you never thought you'd do. So get ready to take back your power and celebrate life with Magical Moments featuring Alena Chapman.
Welcome to Magical Moments. I'm your host, Alena Chapman, and boy, isn't it time for that ease and that betterment to fill our lives. So that's why I chose this magical nugget for you. Guys, relax your mind. Relax it. And you're saying, Alena, are you crazy? How can I relax my mind? My gosh, have you looked at the news? Are you on this planet, Alena? I hear you. But this is the thing, guys. If we don't relax our mind, we don't think clearly. We're like a puppet on a string, going from one critical thing to another critical thing, over and over. Every day you pull up your phone and boy, oh boy, they're so happy to give you that news right on the front, like you need it. And sometimes the news is just made, And it's time for you to just quiet your mind. And here's the thing. When you quiet your mind, that's when the mind says, oh my gosh, there are better things. And you will start to open up into a new observation of this world. You can quiet your mind from your schedule, from the news, from the noise, from other people, from the job, and just allow yourself a little time every day to just be wherever you are. You will open up to the magnificence of your life. All of a sudden, the colors outside will get crisper. The sky will be bluer. People you will see will smile. You will start to hear nature coming alive. You will start to hear the buzz, the symphony of the city that you're in. You will start to hear other people's conversations. You will feel the bigness of your life. And it feels so good because then there's a little gift hidden. As you sit there observing and looking, all of a sudden you start to get this incredible feeling inside of you. It just creeps inside of you, and it's wonder. All of a sudden, you start to feel the awesomeness, this wonder. Questions start to come. I wonder how things grow so green. I know it's chlorophyll, but how does it really happen? Or how does that sky just vary so much in its color? You'll start to ask these questions. Your inquiries will be bigger than the latest news flash. Then you'll start to look at your life in the same way. And all the problems will be easier to solve. All the schedules will fit nicely and neatly. And you will finally have that ease and betterment. It's an incredible little nugget, and it's true. Today, I have an incredible guest for you. I always try to have these incredible guests. Her name is Lisa Hyde. I actually met her in Utah at a mastermind I went to. We were just talking about that. Utah, very vast, open skies. Lisa, a former talent agent turned powerhouse serial entrepreneur, I love this, is now an online business strategist and biohacking influencer and the woman behind the crown. Oh, perfect. She's an LA native, fur mommy, so am I, to the best rescue dog, 51 and fabulous, whose passion is serving others by sharing trade secrets of self-love and confidence. Decades ago, she closed the dream job in Hollywood to become her mom's caregiver. After her passing, it took years for Lisa to rediscover her power. I get that, Lisa. We'll have to talk about that because my mom just died in February. She thought life was about sacrifice and never dreamed she'd create multiple revenue streams that would allow her to empower other entrepreneurs and females and live the lifestyle she always wanted. Lisa, it's so great to have you on. You have had quite a little life, my dear.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I would say I'm so relaxed in how you open the show. I'm like, very zen mode right now. Very zen.
Yeah, and it's also 7 o'clock where you are. So yeah, it is zen. So
wonderful to be here.
I'm really curious. This is not where I want the show to totally go, but I do want to talk about, when our mothers pass on, or a relative or a family member passes on, it is well, number one, the actual passing on, helping them on that journey is a mind-blowing growth for us. I mean, it is incredible. And then when they pass, it's still, they've gone to a wonderful place. We are still growing here on earth. Yeah. So how, what were the things that you found that really helped to leap your life forward?
So I lost two really important ones, my mom and then my grandmother. And these were my cornerstones in my life. So losing them was obviously very difficult. My mom in particular, because she was so young and she wasn't ready. She was, she was still fighting the fight and really had a lot of life she wanted to live. Yeah. So that was a very different experience than my grandmother. It just took me a few years, like I said, to really figure out what I wanted again in my life. I'd given up like that dream, right? The plan that we have when we're young about how our life is going to look. And my mom was sick during most of my 30s. So that time when you're usually getting married and raising a family, I was a caregiver.
Wow.
And so by the time I got out of that fog and kind of had to go through reality, like, you got to figure out what you want to do now for the rest of your life.
Right.
I was a little lost. I had been so focused and had such that grand plan that I was a little resistant to what was available to me.
It's funny. When we get lost, we get so scared. Oh my gosh, so many people do. I'm not saying you did, but so many people do. It's like, oh my gosh, I'm lost. But I don't know. I've been lost a few times in my life. And I have to say, when it happens, I don't know, did you feel the same? It's like, okay, all right, this is where I'm at. And I just sort of accept it. And then I allow stuff to come because I've been through it a couple times. Did you do the same thing?
Well, I think one of the things I learned immediately was personally, I no longer had this grand amount of patience for people. There's this tangible feeling that you have. People will come in and speak very superficial conversations, and you're like, I really, because I was working retail while she was sick, and I would have a customer come in and trying to decide if they were going to get Aspen or get Stott for the holidays, and I was like, really? Like I couldn't comprehend very superficial conversations.
Right.
Like my patience was raw. So I had to figure out, like, where could I flourish and maybe not be around a lot of people right now? Because that wasn't the best feeling, because I didn't want to be social.
No.
I didn't want to just, talk about how beautiful the weather was.
It's really, you're dealing with someone who is passing over, two people.
Yeah.
That's the bigness of life. That's, we're born, we die. Those are the big points. Yeah. And your growth and what's people are going to wear or how they're going to decorate for the holidays. It just,
I had little to no interest. I was like, whoops, I need to get off the floor. I mean, I had my assistant manager, I remember her pulling me off the tree. She's like, there was that thing in the stockroom I really needed you to find for me. And I was like, okay, yeah, sure, that's better.
So now
I quickly walked out of that. I knew I couldn't do it anymore. I lost that ability to do something that, one, my heart wasn't in, that I wasn't passionate about. And I had to go find something that really made me excited again about work. So that's
and that's the other thing that happens. You value life more. You won't just keep to just doing a job just because it's money. And you want the passion of your heart. You want to do something that means something in this life because you see how short it is. I mean, it's just it's short. So, so then when did the talent agent come in?
So that was what I was doing before she got sick. So for 12 years, the minute I graduated college, I went straight into the mailroom at William Morris. And I was a talent agent and manager for 12 years. So I worked for an agency, and then I was on my own or working for different management companies or production companies. And I loved it. I mean, there was a lot going on. That was, early 2000s. The industry was changing, obviously 9/11, which changed the industry in a whole other way. I had actors and writers, and all of a sudden reality television was starting to come into the picture. And so projects that were about to happen were put on the shelf.
Oh, wow.
And all of these incredibly talented and gifted artists were being asked to write reality television or be on a show. And I got to tell you, it was a big transition, and I was resistant. To it.
I'm
now
still
it's my
resistant.
guilty pleasure.
Oh, is it? Oh, I don't like it.
Oh yeah. I've come full circle.
Wow. I just, that's one type of TV I just don't watch, is reality TV.
Housewives of Beverly Hills. It's like I know them, so it feels like family.
Yeah. Right. You're right down the street.
Yeah.
Oh, how funny. So then you've decided, then you went into helping because you've had success. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And now you're helping other women to do the same.
It was crazy. It was, again, things fell into my lap, and I wasn't expecting them. I had actually decided, because I was dating a physician at the time, that I was going to go into healthcare. He convinced me that was going to be, because in 2008, 2010, the world here was a little difficult. We were in a recession.
Yes.
Things were a little tough. Work wasn't guaranteed, so healthcare was guaranteed.
Yes.
And so I tried really hard to try that side of my brain, and I did it. I was, offered a job in a hospital, and I was 2 years into training, but then my grandmother got sick, and I was in that caregiver mode again.
Yeah.
And that's when it hit me. I was like, I was having panic attacks. I'm like, I can't work in healthcare.
No.
I can't watch people pass away all the time. I can't do this.
Yeah.
So
I had the same experience. I was going into medicine. Well, number one, I learned I could not be a nurse. I'd need to be a doctor.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then because of how I handle, I can't handle all that chaos of the care and all the problems that they have. I want to help them get well. I don't want to deal with all the mundane stuff that they need. And I also decided, and then, and then the rules and oh my gosh, and just the constant, everything seemed to be limited I just couldn't do it. I had a very hard time with it. Yeah. So I went into music,
Well, that's perfect.
Yeah.
I had a direct sales business fall in my lap. I was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
I can be my own boss again, not work for anybody, and I can do it from home.
Yeah.
Let me think about that. Yeah. So I jumped in.
It's funny, both of us. Yeah. We've seen a lot of different avenues, haven't we?
Oh, yeah. Which is why I think we're able to help so many different people now.
Oh, sure.
I feel like I've had a career in everything. So when people come to me, they're like, I do this, I do that. I'm like, okay, sure. I've had experience or I've worked with someone who has. So it's quite interesting. All those life lessons have come full circle, and it allows me to help all different kinds of women now.
It's really true. It is because so many people feel like they have to stay in that one job. I gotta stay.
Yeah,
I gotta stay. Oh my gosh, it's the company, mother company. And that is so foreign from my mind. And it's such a safety place. And they're miserable. Yeah. They're miserable.
But that's how we were raised. We were supposed to be W-2s. We were supposed to work hard, graduate college, go into that career, work hard. You would get your tenure, whatever, and life would be great. And, 2.5 kids and a white picket fence. But that quickly was not a reality.
I did want a white picket fence.
I did too, but it didn't happen.
No, I didn't get one either.
Actually, I have one now. Oddly
do you?
Now I do.
Oh,
I have a white fence that goes to the back of my yard. Yeah. All the things I wanted when I was younger, I finally have achieved. But it took me a while to find what that was going to be or how that was going to look. And it definitely meant flexing my own independent muscles. And I was never a good employee. I was always a better boss.
Me too.
From
me too.
childhood. I started working when I was 13. So I was always the one giving advice to my managers or bosses. They're like, who are you? I'm like, I don't know, but I'm not supposed to be your employee.
Yeah.
I'm going to run the place.
Yeah. Oh,
so
you and me.
It's always been that way.
I'm very much like that too. That's very interesting. Very interesting.
Are you a Leo as well?
No, I'm a Gemini.
Oh. Okay.
Not too far.
Maybe that was it.
That's so funny. Yeah, I was thinking you're a Gemini. That's funny. So, but this is the thing. So many people, they want to get out of that comfort zone. They don't understand how I'm putting myself in your same category. Yeah. We do it. How can you switch like that? How can you just change? How can you just let it happen? And when you find someone, because right now it's a very weird time and we've lived through some others. This is another one. The people have lost their jobs. People who have been in jobs for 30 years have lost the job, but they can't wrap their head around trying something different, letting it fall in their lap, getting out of their mind, quieting their mind so they can actually find their heart's desire, you know?
I do. And I think one of the abilities I've had, we call it the pivot, right? We've been able to kind of turn on a dime and see what was actually needed in the world around us.
Yeah.
I look at change as a challenge. I'm not afraid of it.
Me too.
I look at it as a way to actually just better myself. I think we should always be open to learning new things. So if we look at it from that angle, like I'm just a student of life and I'm going to continue to keep an open mind and try different things. I mean, honestly, what's the worst that's going to happen? We're going to fall. I mean,
it doesn't work. So
without failing. Like you can't, you cannot succeed without failing. So there's going to be times when you make the wrong decision. That's okay though. You've learned something and you're going to do it better the next time or different.
And don't take it so hard.
No.
Everything.
Not a one and done.
And it's never a failure. Never. No. Because you learn something.
Absolutely.
And that is gold. Every time you learn something, it is gold. So you learn something and you go and you do better. It's a piece of cake. I learned from people who have, my dad was in a business where I got to meet a lot of people who would make lots of money, lose lots of money. He wasn't a gambler. He was in the stock market. Well, sort of same thing in some ways.
Same.
So you would go up and you go down. And I'll tell you, they were the most fun people. Why?
Yeah.
Because they weren't afraid of a challenge.
No, they're resilient.
Yeah, and they're not as scared of change, and they know that they can get it back anytime they want, whatever they want.
Absolutely. So very similar, being an agent or being in the world of entertainment, very much like the stock market. It's unpredictable. There's big ups, big downs. So you were used to kind of riding that roller coaster. I used to call it like gambling full time. Like I was actually compare this to like a Vegas experience. You never knew what the outcome was going to be. And it could change on a dime. So, very, very similar to the stock market. You make a big investment in someone's career, and sometimes they hit and sometimes they don't.
And no big deal.
That's life.
That's right.
Yeah.
And you go on to something else. Piece of cake.
You just move on. Exactly. You just move on. You're like,
you move on.
Next.
Yeah.
Next.
Yeah, because it's really about the experience. So now you get women who are just stepping out the door because you work mainly with women. And they're saying, okay, now I've got to change. Oh, my kids have just grown. I just divorced. This is very common, by the way. I'm just divorced. The kids have grown. And now I've got to do something. Oh, my God. What do I do? And that's where they're at, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Start with passion. Like, please do something that you want to do. What is that hobby or that childhood dream that you had? What is that thing you wanted to do that somewhere along the line someone told you couldn't do it? That's what I want to know about. Because what I find is that's the one that they'll put the energy and time into because it was something they really wanted, but someone talked them out of it. Or it wasn't realistic. Or they started to raise a family too soon, or not too soon, but earlier than they were able to get their footing into that career that they wanted. Or lifestyle. Or maybe they want to just volunteer. Maybe they want to be a dog rescuer. It doesn't matter. And that's what's so funny. People come to me with all different types of backgrounds, all different types of businesses. It doesn't matter what you do. I just want to make sure you're doing it with passion, and then I'm going to help you strategically plan out how you're going to actually make an income from it.
That's so true. And not to put so much freaking pressure on yourself because it really is interesting. I started this business, Lisa, just journaling. I was going through my divorce, and I decided I got to have some fun. Gemini, got to have some fun.
Yeah.
So I wake up in the morning and I say, okay, what can I do that's going to be fun today? And I do that and the first thing that came to my mind, I made a deal with myself. That's what I would do. Yeah. And one morning I woke up and I said, I want to journal. And so I dropped the kids off at school and I started to journal. That was my first book. You can't escape from a prison if you don't know you're in one. And that led me into my business. I'm telling you, it is getting into what do you just want for today? Just don't put years Don't
No.
think you're going to be in there until the day you die. Stop that.
No.
What do you want today?
Right.
What is just going
And
to
I
make
think
your heart sing?
Well, it's simplified. What can you do today to find joy?
Yes,
Right?
exactly.
That's when we look at how quickly and short life can be. If you're not doing something every day that you're passionate about, that you love, that brings you joy, you're not doing the right thing.
I feel sad for you.
Yeah.
Because it's so much more fun. And yes, you have challenges, but my gosh, when it feels good, it feels really good.
Really good.
You know, and that's
Really
what
good.
you know, and you find yourself growing so fast. But you know, every time I have this business and everything, the other day I got into this, I wanted to redo furniture. So I did. I just started that. You know, it doesn't take away from the business. This is the thing, folks. Because we are one thing doesn't mean we can't be many. And
Absolutely.
and if you find that, like when I'm out there, it quiets my mind.
Mm-hmm.
I sit out there right now. I got this dresser that I've put, that fake wood on it, and because it had damage, and I antique it usually. I'm learning how to actually do a lot of art on it now. But I started out just by making it like a French rustic. And so I just have fun. And I'll tell you what, it's peaceful. It's calm. Your mind calms. And then what happens? I get new ideas for the business.
Absolutely.
I get, it takes...
I'm painting too right now, which is really crazy because I bought a new house during COVID, and I'm doing some final touches, and I'm painting a lot. I'm laughing because I'm listening to you. I used to refinish furniture for fun as well. It's very interesting. I don't know many people who say that.
No, I know.
I've been painting a lot lately, and it feels really good.
Are you sure you're a Leo?
I am on the cusp. I'm on the cusp with Cancer and Leo.
funny. Well, yeah, it does. It just quiets your mind. It's so funny. I don't think people understand you inside you, your intuition. That's how your spirit is talking to you. And it knows what it wants. And we shut it down. Oh, no, I can't paint that furniture today. What am I thinking? I've got to go do the expense report or something. I've got to go do this and that. I got to vacuum. You take what is inside you saying, I've got to try this. And we put it down because we have obligation, we think. That false obligation.
Very interesting. And this is something I've really been focusing and concentrating on a lot lately. We have to do more self-care for ourselves. So if painting is something that brings you joy, you need to be doing more painting. If
so fun.
Running a marathon brings you joy, you need to be training more. Like whatever it is that truly, again, excites you, that is bringing you health and strength and joy, and really having you see that you're flourishing, you're kind of getting full from this excitement.
Yeah.
That's where you need to be spending your energy. So more self-care.
It feeds your
more
soul.
Things that make you happy.
We got to feed our soul. You've got to feed your soul so it thrives in you. And then all of a sudden, dealing with your children is a lot easier. Dealing with the mother is a lot easier.
Dealing with people in general is a lot easier.
People, the situation is so much easier. Everyone always says to me, you're always happy. You always seem to be in a good mood. I love your vibration. Yeah. Well, hon, that's because I feed my soul. That's because I put up healthy boundaries. I take care. I enjoy life. Yeah.
Boundaries, big time.
Yeah.
Big time.
Big time. Healthy boundaries. And it's so funny because the happier you get, the more you have to have those boundaries, because it's so interesting. You can feel it in people. They either dare to try to change it because you really can't be that happy.
Right.
Or they want it by osmosis and they don't have it, and they bring you sorrow as they're trying to suck it out of you. And you have to be able to say, wait a minute, Tiger, that's not my deal. Sorry, you got to go find your own happiness. Feed your soul, hun.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And a lot of people around me have not had easy lives. They've been successful, but it's not been easy. And, a lot of sorrow can come with that. You can be in, like you said, not healthy relationships. I have discovered a lot of friends lately who've been involved with narcissists. Man, it is painful to witness from the sidelines. And, you're trying to be supportive and trying to encourage your friends to, stand on their own. But boy, oh boy.
Yeah, but they don't want to.
Things.
They don't want to. How can people reach out to you? And you have a gift, don't you, for people?
I do. So it's coinky-dink. I'm not sure exactly when this is going to air, but we had a big outage in social media this week.
I heard. Yeah, we did.
Yes, we did. And I'm all about the other platform, the one that didn't go out this week. And so I'm really there helping women create. Yeah, the TikTok, exactly. The TikTok.
I like TikTok.
We love the TikTok, and it's all about helping women and small businesses find their footing and understand that their ideal market, their client is hanging out on the TikTok.
Yeah, so and it's Lisa Hyde. Can they follow you on Lisa Hyde?
It's actually the Confidence Crown.
Okay, the Competence Crown. I love that.
Yeah.
How fun.
And that's on all platforms, but I'm telling you guys, we never know where the other ones are going, so find me on TikTok.
No, I love TikTok. I'm getting started on TikTok. You guys, you should look for both of us on TikTok. I'm going to be under Alena Chapman, so that's easy to find. But, well, it has been such a joy to have you on.
Thank you.
You're bringing such hope to women. I love it. And for everyone out there, check out Soul Manifesto too, of course, because, gosh, we got some new stuff. Oh, my gosh. I had so many on Soul Talk just wanting to learn how to set healthy boundaries. And I think in the following weeks, we're going to be talking about energy vampires. Now, come on. I know we've got some energy vampires out there, and I know that people are getting the life sucked out of them. How do you set up healthy boundaries with that, and how do you leave that situation? Check it out at Soul Talk at soulmanifesto.com. I'd love to have you, and I'd love to hear your experiences with that. Take care of yourself. Enjoy life. Get that peace of mind.
This has been Magical Moments with Alena, featuring Alena Chapman. If you missed an episode, download it now on iTunes, Spotify, TuneIn, CastBox, Deezer, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, or your favorite podcast platform. Learn more online at soulmanifesto.com.
Podcasts by Federated Media.